the nervous energy has arrived. I want to double check with people. Can you guys hear me, first of all? And second of all, how are we doing? Welcome to Das Stream. Hope everyone's doing well. And if you're not, I hope you do better by the end of today. So from my total lack of PR on my end, today I am doing a live stream under speed mixing conditions of Dread Persephone's Not the Tower. It's KYLL. And this is probably my favourite ever song by them. They're awesome. They're a really, really good bunch of lads. Local to me in Edinburgh. What's the story behind this? We started working together on pre-production for their first record that they did with me, called... I think it was The Tower. It was The Tower, yeah. So yes, we did the first record together, and we sort of got pre-pro out of the way at my home at the time in Pilton. And I was asking, oh, cool. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. Good. Yes, awesome. So, what am I saying? Yeah, pre-pro for the tower. So we got pre-pro out of the way, did, reference guitar, bass tones, whatever else. And I'm going to slip my Crocs off because my feet are sweaty. Yes, we did pre-pro for the tower, and I kind of thought, oh yeah, let's talk about some other stuff. Ask some questions about any future releases. So I asked them, what else is happening with you guys? What are we, do you want to, based on your experience here, do you want to keep working together, that kind of thing? And they said, yeah, let's see what happens after the first song. We've got another 3 ready, and they told me the titles, and they said, oh, we got what is it? Oh, it was the Scapegoat was the first one. The Tower was the next thing that we would do to work on together, and then they say, oh, we've got another one called Kill Your Landlord. And I was like, dudes, this is going to be my favourite song straight away, just based off of the title. So what the origin of this was is we had some difficulties with our landlady. She was just phenomenally bad at acting on maintenance stuff. So as soon as I heard the title, obviously, loved this song. And when I heard the song for the first time and heard the drop and the breakdown at the end, I was immediately sold. I was like, right, I'm going to put my absolute best foot forward with this. So let's have a little look around with this session. I'll just pop you my arrange page. You can hear me. Should be able to also hear some room samples that I reamped. Yeah, looks like you can on my end. So exploring this session, we have a ton of layered vocals. We have a ton of different guitar options. We've got some stuff that I bounced in place through Harry's Helix. Just realised you can hear me double. No, you can't hear me double. I'm just being stupid. Hello! Great. So the plan with today is going to be, I set this up under timed speed mixing conditions. For any people from URM who are here, they'll know what this means. But basically, the whole concept of speed mixing is you get 90% done in 10% of the time that you would otherwise spend on a mix. This does not mean cutting corners in any way. It is just taking advantage of kind of a creative flow state. So the layout will generally be half an hour timed for doing mix prep, and then any time of that I elapse, I will take out of my actual mixing time of the song itself. And I know I'm probably going to need to do that based off of a missing synth file that I can't actually find. So that means I'm going to have to reamp that, which means I get to do some fancy fun reamping with pedals. So that's cute for you guys. Yeah. and then I'll take a little break, at which point I will then speed mix everything under a clock. Similar sort of thing where I set a timer for doing balances. This time I'll actually remember to show you the door screen as opposed to just my pretty face. Yes, timers for balance, timers for EQ, timers for compression, and generally just getting everything sounding as close to a song as possible. Now, obviously, this has been previously released. This was released last year, and yeah, it's just going to be a nice opportunity to see how I've progressed more than anything in a year. This is also a total experiment for me because I did no, as I say, no PR for this. So basically nobody knows that I'm streaming this apart from people that I've directly pushed the link onto today with absolutely zero notice. Speaking of, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the link to this to my friends in URM UK because James asked beard questions last time and it was wonderful. Oh, sweet. Oh, that's nice. If Seth's in, that's cool. Seth Munson, if you're in, that's really sweet of you to join. Let's see. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, watch night. Shout out to Brian Ramage for letting us use his space as well. Really, really nice guy. And he dealt with a lot of running overtime. So yeah, really, really grateful for your accommodations with us. Right, let's copy and paste this to URM. Live streaming now. If anyone wants to totally uproot things, is that? No, it's got a little preview of me. Oh, great. So before I get started with exploring things with pre-production, I bought my first mixing console, and this is the first time I've publicly said it aloud. I've said it to people individually, but I bought a Mackie 32.8. It's a 32-channel 8-bus mixer, so that'll be 4 stereo buses. And that is the next step to my sound. So this is probably going to be one of the last mixes that I do with digital summing. So the whole experiment there, as you can see from my template, I might as well go through the template just to refresh people. We basically have these 3 big folders. Let's just ignore all of these guys for now. Anything grey we ignore. We have these 3 buses, which are our instrumental, a cappella, post effects. No, that's just sub stuff. So everything is basically being summed in the box, in the computer, inside of Logic. So we've got for instance, our kick track going to our kick bus, going to our shells bus, going to our master drum bus, going to our instrumental. And then what I did last time, which I'll be repeating again today with the Scramble live stream, was the instrumental a cappella buses. They would go to my outboard compressors, the TLC1, ART Pro VLA2, and the Alesis 3630. I'd kind of chop and change between what I liked, or I discovered by complete accident on the Scramble stream that I love the TL going into the Alesis. And what I'm going to be able to do with the console is all of this digital summing is just not going to be a thing anymore. The drums, the bass, the guitars, the keys, synths, that kind of thing. The a cappella bus is basically going to be discarded. The lead vocals, the backing vocals, and the vocal effects, they will all go straight to the faders of the 32.8. And those will in turn be sent via what's called submaster inserts on the desk, as that terminology. That'll then get sent to the 8 buses, the 4 stereo buses on the console itself. So this will be completely different summing. Go onto my Instagram page, and you'll see a little video that I made about mixing on a Neve Genesis and how I finally understood the concept of analog summing and EQ bending. There is a sense of 3D depth that way, is the only way I can describe it. But yeah, I'm excited to be able to show you guys that later on. I'll only be able to use 16 channels of the 32 because I'm limited to 20 outputs on my 18i20, and that is unacceptable. So I'll love to you guys, Dread Persephone. Thanks for coming along and listening to me babble. That's just a reminder for me to shut up, isn't it? I saw Robbo, the drummer, in Rome. We happened to get the same flight. It was wonderful. We had a lovely time. Let's delve into the pre-production of this, or the mix prep. So what I'm going to do is I am going to set a stopwatch. Oh, can I do it on my iPad instead? That would be nice to just have it like right in front of me. Where are we? Have a clock. We have a stopwatch. Yay! Cool. I'm going to set a stopwatch for half an hour and just keep a vague eye on the time as to what is happening with how I explore things. So great. Here we go. So first of all, I've got some guitars that I played myself because I noticed that I'm missing some stems, which is incredibly lazy of me. So I just played the part again. We've got some drop guitars. I've got some room reamps. These I don't need because the shells are already elsewhere in the project. We have some impacts. We've got a synth. So those are going to be effects because I don't want the sub to be swallowed up in the instrumental bus compression. Yes. These are all cool. These are all effects. These are all going to be vocals. Anything labeled with Regs is going to be vocals. Apart from the guitars. So those are acoustic guitars. These are all guitars. Cool. And I took a bit of a shortcut earlier by putting certain things already in place. So let's just listen to what we've got. We have got guitar distortion left and right. Cool. There are some things that I would have done slightly differently about that, but never mind. We'll make a guitar rhythm left, right. One file, include volume and pan automation. So I've updated my version of Logic since the last stream, and the main reason why I did that was so that I could have the plugin search up here. But I've also noticed that if you need to bounce a load of things in place, like that have loads of effects processing through them, you have the option to change to one file per track or one file per region, which you didn't used to do. It used to just sum everything selected into like one stereo bus, which sucked. So I mean, it's immensely helpful if you're trying to render triggered drums or anything like that. I need to stop wasting time and stop babbling. We have Harry's tone from the Helix. That's there are some things that I'd change about that as well. But we'll see what we can do. I like blending amp tones that sum kind of nicely together. I had an experience with a different band who I just got really curious about, and they sent me some stems. Guitar, dist, left, right, DI. And yeah, it was really interesting. They'd chosen their cabs and their mic combinations specifically to act almost like EQs, and that was genius. Guitar, dist, left, right, helix. Now this is interesting because this appears to be right. I'm going to discard those. Yeah, so the reason why I re-recorded this drop guitar is because listen to the I can't turn that off because it's got the pitch shifting going through it. I'll turn off the distortion and stuff. So if we listen just to the DI, we've got single notes that are really, really clear out of this. And And when we pitch shift those DIs down, if there's like even a little whiffle of another string underneath there that's vibrating, it's going to completely ruin the low end and make all the distortion really flubby. Like, you can't tell what the note is. So I like the rainbow markers. Thank you, Jack. That is just an auto setting in Logic. Guitar clean DI. So we've got left and we've got right. This is the intro theme, which is beautiful. Cool. On B. I cannot type properly today because of the nervous energy, but that is absolutely fine. Also, my voice is shagged. I got a cold coming off the plane from Rome. And guitar clean left right helix. I remember that sounded pretty good, actually. I might put it in one of my impulse responses. What does this sound like? Yeah, that's nice. Guitar distorted lead. This is the do 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 do. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I came off the plane from Rome a week ago, and I must have got something off of it, so that's resulted in a cough, but also loss of voice. So today I will probably be speaking relatively minimally. Guitar dist left right helix. Elev. I love all the weird noises. And then we have acoustic left, center, and right. Good. Okay, let's put these all somewhere. I'm going to pop the acoustic guitar in the guitar solo bus because we don't have guitar solos in this. But what we do have is 3 of the same source that need to be panned nicely. See how this works. Nice, good, nice separation there. Very subby, very subby on those. That's something that I'll keep a very close eye on. Guitar rhythm left right. Good. We can put that in our little DI thing. And we can... Is that SLO 100X? Yes, it is. Good. We'll pop the helix tone in there as well. I need to remember to phase align that, and we'll do that with these little chugs. Jump, 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 jump. We have our... Now, what are these? I think those need to go in the same category as the rhythm guitars, because what happens here? Yeah, it's effectively quad-tracked on those. So we'll go ahead and do that. Need to duplicate my cab. So that's right, what I'll do is I'll have cab DI on those. And then, what's this? This is our guitar clean. Nothing. That does overlap. Right, so I'll create a manual fade there, which means that I can't really be doing... I've got a spare bus. That's good. That's great. Yep, so I can treat all of these as leads. That is fine. Out of interest, anyone who's got a pair of ears on them, how does my voice sound volume-wise in relation to the stream? Because I was in a rush and did the stupid thing and did not check my levels. No guitar solos, bin the song. Take that up with the band. They're three chats above you. Pop this up here. Nothing overlapping in there, that's nice, so I can treat all of that bus processing separately. All of this can be discarded, and we can move on to the vocal stuff. There is a lot to explore here.
rate of the people leads to a
cycle of poverty, hunger.
Angus, completely agree. KYLL is it's the best. It's my favourite song of theirs, hands down. Let's collapse all of these backing vocals and just focus on the stuff that needs actual attention. And we've got distorted vocals here.
Rumble all my calcium, gemstone set in resin. Rumble.
Are these the exact same thing? Gain mono, phase invert. Yep, they're the exact same thing. That's fine. So anything with an underscore of 1 underneath, I need to get rid of. Nope, okay, that looks like it was the only thing. That looks like a distorted lead. Those are distorted backing vocals. These are doubles. Yep, so let's have these go in here. Ad-libs can probably also go in the same place. Clean backing vocals. High whisper, low backing vocals. Did we just do all of this in, like, two stems?
Big little body, pray to the skies, flies while gay. Why
That was the best scream ever. That was that. Oh, I love working with Reeks. Reeks is the best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seth, good to see you, man. Right, ad-libs can go in here because there's nothing overlapping them. Yeah, I think that's fine to have them all processed in the same bus. Cool, so we have some clean backing vocals for some reason.
names mean more than
Cool, I understand why that is. Whisper vocals. Turn all those heavy metal screams into a meme. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. Cool. So we've got distorted vocal double left underscore 1 and right underscore 1. Let's just check to see, I'll do the old phase check again and see if these are exact duplicates of each other with the exception of this little guy here. Yep, they are exact duplicates of each other. So what I can do is do that. And we don't have to worry about them again. 11 minutes spent doing mix prep so far. Cool. I do want to trigger some MIDI off of all of these shells, so I'm going to have to speed my game up a bit. Backing vocals. Let's just do things willy-nilly. I remember I put the whispers in gang vocals so that everything wouldn't be processed all the same way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 of those. I'll do the panning later. Distortion low. Chuck that in here. Distortion double left underscore 1 and right underscore 1. Those are not identical, so that is fine. Hope to see me at Scunner Slam. Yes, I will be at Scunner Slam. I am super excited for it. It's kind of like it's a growing tradition now in the Edinburgh scene, isn't it? I really like that we have that. Sort of double left and right one. High BV1 left and right. So those are still distorted. That's fine. These are all distorted. These are all oh, this is a phenomenal sample. I adore pitch shifting things on vocals. It's just, oh, it's the best. Another 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dig in with the fighting between the band and Jack. Although, yeah, to be fair, the solos on the solo on the tower is great, as is the solo on Troubled Waters. I'm not sure what my favourite one of those is. I think it's probably Troubled Waters. It's such an emotional intimate part of the song that is not a side that we necessarily see of this band particularly often. Clean vocals. What's this clean vocal draft?
Finders, keepers.
That is very clearly a draft. Finders, keepers. Did I put... Okay, so there's an extra pitch-shifted vocal that's missing out of here. That is fine. Where do we have clean vocals, clean harmonies? These are all distorted screams. So what do we need? We need 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, awesome, Angus. Yes, I remember you. You do drums. Oh, that's sick. Welcome. Honoured to have you. Clean harmony here. So, Angus, for your benefit, because as far as I know, you can't see what I'm doing, I am basically arranging all of these audio files and putting them in different sections of my mix template for routing. So all of the clean vocals, for instance, are being sent to a clean vocal bus. Those are all being sent to a master vocal bus, which is then being summed inside of the box to some analog hardware, which will effectively make everything punch the same weight all of the time. That is, I've realised I need to get really, really good at my literary communication. Screams, but those are all part of the same big vocal bus. So I'm going to add 4 more of these guys and chuck them up here so that we're left with this wonderful divine. Let's just see what that sounds like. And I can tell we've got some little squiddly widdly woos in there that we need to get rid of. Axe those. I wake up every day against my will. That's, yeah, such a good line from Troubled Waters. We have lots of effects that I have not routed to my effects, so that's fine. We have 13 effects to put in as a combination of subdrops, bits of extra percussions, swooshes, white noise sweeps, which has been mislabeled as whit noise sweep. Did I say 10 or 13? I can't count today. It's the nervous energy, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we can just route all of those here. Turn this guy down so that I don't deafen anyone. Good. We have stuff. It's just a mood in general. That's great. We can flatten this so that we don't have nasty, horrible things. Room reamp left, right. So there was one thing that I wasn't quite getting from Ramage's room, which was a nice, big, splatty sound. You'll be able to hear the difference between this, actually. Pop this up here. That is correct. That's fine. So these were the original rooms that we had. Oh, and it looks like I need to rearrange a transient. I moved that. Oh, I have moved it. Right, I'll just bump that over there. Yeah, that looks a bit better. So this is the original drum rooms that we had. I recorded a mid-side pair with, what was it? I think it must have been an Aston Spirit and the Stealth or an SE X1 maybe. But it sounded like this. No, it didn't sound like that. Like, pleasant enough, but very cymbal heavy. And I struggled a lot with that. When it's combined with the shells and the overheads, there's a big build-up of mid-energy, and I didn't have the energy for it. So I stuck a speaker in my living room and put some spaced omnis up, and I think it sounds better. Now, yes, there is a big build-up of low-end energy in there, but I'll easily be able to take that away. What I'm really looking for is kind of the splattiness of the mid-range, which has been granted to me. Great. And then we need to route this guitar drop stuff. Now, this is either going to work or it's going to break my template. I'm going to save this here in case Logic cucks me. Please work. Yes! So my Logic template is basically a walking crash fest. I used to have loads of plugins on like everything, but then I decided I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use plugin search instead, so that I could just make all of my decisions myself without necessarily being prompted to you know, choose an EQ preset that I'd made some years ago or whatever. Stupid stuff. Great, so that is everything routed, and I've taken twice the amount of time that I would usually over that. Let's create some reliable drum MIDI so that we can trigger samples off of this. So I've made this nice little Logic pack. Oh, you bastard. I've created this nice little Logic preset for loading trigger as an enhance reject thing. So you basically put your shells in that you want to double or reject, and I've made a note to myself, they enhance them by panning them to the left, and they go into this rejection circuit by panning them to the right. Now I've been really clever with my shells, and I've pre-stripped all of my toms, which are the first things that I like to trigger. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's got a rack. No, don't do that. Don't reveal all of my hidden plugin settings. My hidden outboard settings. We will use the snare top stealth because that's our only option, and probably because I deleted the other thing that I would have gone for. Right. So largely inoffensive stuff, but I'm going to double the tom 1 first. Make sure this is triggering. I'm going to do that with the lowest velocity. Yep, it is. It's fine. Let's just double check. Yep, that's fine. Mix that to 100%. Need to create a MIDI region because Logic is stupid sometimes. 2127, right, cool. I think it's worth running over in terms of pre-production time or mix prep time, because that means that I will be able to be much more creative later on. Dialectos, good to see you, man. Thank you for popping in. Right, we are doing boring drum MIDI doubling at the moment. Tom 1 plus. Doesn't matter about the audio right now. What matters is that the signal is running through this plugin, which allows me, because it's got this as part of the trigger cache, I can just drag this MIDI straight onto the track, and you can see I've got all of the MIDI hit points for my toms, just straight away. I have a nice little keyboard shortcut in Logic for tab to transient. I can't remember how I discovered it. It was an obscure setting. Right, do that. Rename this to Tom 1 plus. And rinse and repeat. Let's just double check that this is going to work for the other guy. It looked like there were 2 transients there. Dum brum. Yes. Cool, that's gonna work. I love this song so much. Good. Okay, cool. So clear the buffer. This guy. Bounce this. Tom 2 plus. Dum da dum dum da dum dum dum. How are we all doing in the chat? Have we rested enough? Or are we all being sadists and staying awake until we bleed to death? 2 plus. Where's our floor tom? Is here. Yeah, Logic, you go ahead and analyze your transients. So I've aligned. That's to this hit, that's fine. Tom 2+. And then we can move on to the fun stuff, which is our snare. What was talking part at the beginning of the track? Ah, Angus, I will show you that as soon as we've done the drum doubling. Maybe it makes better sense to trigger the kick. Yeah, it makes way better sense to trigger the kick at this stage. Yeah, that makes way better sense. That's fine. That's fine. Now, was that a rogue hit? Good. That's going to trigger nicely. Clear our buffer here. Now, how are we going to do this? We just mute everything else. That's fine. Clear buffer. Kick plus. From Kiko, it's only 11 AM here. It's still early. Lucky you. What was I doing at 11? I had a really nice coaching call with somebody. Really good coaching call. Let's duplicate this. It was all about asking things. And I think it was super useful. Because as entrepreneurs and business owners and freelancers and whatever the hell we want to call ourselves, there's always this fear around asking things, because it's almost like by saying what we want, we're like this impetuous child and we're not allowed to do things or we'll be rude to people or whatever. No, asking is inherently a neutral thing. Kick plus. Happy to rant about that on another occasion. Right, now this is where the fun rejection stuff comes in. I'm going to pan this kick to the right, and I'm going to... Oh, I can't do that because that's stupid. Logic is stupid. We've got our kick plus, we've got our tom 1 and our tom 2. I'm just going to drag those a little closer to... I'm going to drag those a little closer to my... Yep, kick tom 1, tom 2. So all we need to do is reject tom 1, tom 2, and enhance the snare. So what this should result in, if we dial this mix back, setting up a work computer for your old roommate still. Oh, is that the same project with the SSD, Kiko? Good start. I'm going to chuck this on the other screen so that I can kind of vaguely skim through where I think this snare needs to hit. So we need to up the sensitivity a little bit and have the re-trigger go faster. That's very healthy. My recollection, there's also no ghost notes in this, which is very helpful. Good. This is all looking nice and healthy. And we don't have any of our toms bleeding through. I think that will be alright. There will be some discrepancy in some of the drum hits from this. I already know there's one little pattern in this outro thing where one of the revisions post the first mix was to adjust the drum pattern in there. So thank God I took samples of the kit on the session day to make it sound nice and natural. So that will be missing, Dread Persephone. Sorry, yeah. I couldn't grab the old session file. I couldn't actually open the old session file. Oh, Matt, you dumb bastard. Let's just put this in here. Yes, there we go. Now we can be done with trigger. Okay. So that's now all of our shells lined. Oh. Don't enjoy logic sometimes. I also don't enjoy not using logic, so it's a major double standard that I have. Cool. So that is our drum MIDI all set. Kick, snare, tom 1, tom 2. Don't need the audio of tom 1 plus. All we need are these MIDI guys. So we'll pop our kick plus in here. Pop our snare plus in here. We can use that also to trigger some gates, which I like. Finally finished your giant spreadsheet of plugins and software. That is awesome. Should I tell people about the super secret project, or do you want to tease it your own way? I like ruining surprises. No, I'm joking. Cool. That is all the MIDI sorted, with the exception of our master drum MIDI. So what I love doing. This is, where are we? Name, regions by track. There we go. What I love doing is putting master drum MIDI in. Okay, I'm going to need to adjust that later. I probably should have done that. At the start. No, that's fine. Okay. I'm just going to check what our velocities are here. Minimum velocity of 75. That's good. That's about where I want it. Minimum velocity of 30. I don't like that. Going to velocity limit this real quick. Just see what doing it to 100 does. 57. Let's do that again. 84. That's nice. So now we have a reasonable dynamic range for our snare as opposed to incredibly quiet and incredibly loud. Got a similar sort of thing with the toms. So we'll just pop that on 100, 80, that's nice. Good. All right. And we have a minimum velocity of 38 for our floor tom. I think that's probably tried to mistrigger something, but I'm going to make it louder anyway. So, go for it. Really not that secret. Lovely. Right. Well, Kiko and I are working on a rename region by track. Kiko and I are working on a cute little contact instrument, which is me plucking my violin. And it's very fun. I offered it to him just for being a good guy, and it was a fun thing to do. And I had not made a sample library before, much less for something as advanced as contact instrument. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this comes out. Don't know how it's going to be distributed or if it's going to be public or anything like that, but there we go. It's a very fun thing. That's our tom 2. Right, how does this MIDI look? Yep, that looks accurate. So what this master drum MIDI does is it basically creates a little ping every time one of the drum shells is hit. And what I do is I sidechain the rooms to that drum MIDI, and I have some saturation here, which is sidechained to that master drum MIDI. And anytime a drum shell hits, it adds a tiny bit of gain, to one of 3 bands that is saturating the drum rooms. So nice, fun, creative thing for me to play with. The next fun, creative thing for me to play with is probably going to be checking this bass tone. I already know that I have a bass synth going on, so I'm going to headbutt the microphone and put some high-pass filters and some low-pass filters on this. And actually, it's probably worth looking inside of here to see. Yeah, that's that's girthy. So cool. We've got that's kind of the 40 hertz region. Let's just make sure we don't have anything conflicting here. Right, cool. That needs to be high passed, I think, to 50. Oh, it can go higher. Cool. 70. There we go. Another trick that I liked doing with the bass, whenever we have a clean bass tone, is I like to pitch shift it by 7 semitones. Is it? No, it's not 7 semitones. It's 0.7 semitones. It's 7 cents. That's what it is. So that's why I had to use the pitch shifter on this. That's right. Mix 100 semitones 0, and that gives us this wonderful chorus effect. Love it. Pairing that with the sub at the bottom. Nice and fat. We also need to create our bass synth. So I'm going to duplicate this guy, and I will pop that in its own little synth section here. We'll address that later, because that requires bouncing stuff in place through hardware, and that's something that I don't want to do right now. Ooh. Is it something that I even can do with this particular setup? I'll figure out a way. It's fine. It'll be fine. You won't be able to hear it, but I'll take a little break, and you'll hear it later. Let's look at some guitar tone. Oh, let's also look at this this distorted bass tone. I mean, I'm very happy with that because I dialed the bass tone myself. 120 on here. I love doing this split bass technique where we limit the DI to create this kind of this absolute wall of sound. The reason why I haven't done it for the clean bass stuff is because it's nice and dynamic. It kind of allows the mix to go bouncing around. But yeah, let's separate these guys. Let's just do a little bit of research into what our kick frequencies are. Too high is the answer. So I will probably trigger something around about 50 hertz. The focus of the kick's low end needs to be the beat. So I'll probably do this at about 50. That's tidied things up quite well. URM's limit tilt is amazing because it has both pre and post EQ positions with a tilt EQ. So what I love using this for is limiting the shit out of a bass DI, which introduces a lot of distortion. You can hear that horrible wodgy stuff around 100 to 300 hertz. Gone. That horrible wodgy shit is gone. Just wonderful. What a great plugin. Good. Let's look at other things. That's fine. Let's look at our rhythm tone. That's probably the most useful thing to do, given I've spent 8 minutes running over. Not the biggest fan of that, but we'll make it work. Limitil is the L1 we all deserved. Yes, kind of. I think that Limitil and L1 are different. I use them for different things, and you'll see me use them on different things in the mix. I'm after clarity with all of my DIs. I'll just A/B this DI for you. There's kind of that horrid nasaling wah, wah, wah stuff that's going on. The effect that this has is kind of mainly on distortion out of an amp tone. So if I pop in some distortion here, which I appear to have already tried to dial in the rhythm tone. It's clipping the tone more than it needs to. And it's nice to have that extra sort of grit to go ja-da, ja-ja, ja-da, ja-ja on those kind of accents. Have I already done this? 0.4, 0.4, 0.4. No, I haven't done my hilarious phase trick. So that's fine. Let's just find a vaguely good. That'll be fine. I like starting it with all of my knobs at 12 o'clock. I like those depth knobs. I like that little presence knob as well, because that kind of adds some sort of high frequency clarity boost thing. Let's just see what happens if this breakdown. Time for my lovely little phase trick. Once again, make it sound as horrible as possible so that when you reverse the phase or return it to normal, it does not sound awful. I think I can make worse sounds. That's unusable, completely unusable. Fun. That sounds like a nice guitar tone. So I think we can make these two things work really, really, really well together. And the way that we're going to do that is by We'll use this section as a reference. I like using in phase for this. So basically, in phase, audio 26. In phase is amazing. It takes one signal and it takes another signal, and it makes one of those signals more in phase with the other. So if I set this to capture the sidechain, so we can see already that by summing this together, doesn't sound as good as it could do because it's 0.17 out of phase, negative 0.17 out of phase. So let's see what we can do to reverse that. I love playing with this little delay trick. Look at that, look at that. By shifting things 2 milliseconds to the left, we're already 0.49 in phase. But I just want to see if I can get a nice big number off of that. 0.49 was our record. And the effect of what this does, I'll fiddle around this while we're playing this as well. It basically just makes it sound like ass as you fiddle with the phase. However, 0.49. If we do a quick A/B of these settings, this is what it's like when there's no phase correction. So what that's done is it's really emphasized the low end in a pleasing way, but I'm probably going to need to subtract some of that. But what it's mainly done is it's stopped that horrible, bitey, gritty stuff at the top end from being too overwhelming. Doesn't sound as thin. I'm going to see if there's any frequency-based phase tricks I can do. So our record is still 0.49. It usually doesn't yield much benefit. Nah. Easy peasy, Kiko. Good to hang out with you today. All right, let's just create a nice balance between these guys. Great, and what we can do is we can copy and paste all of these little mix settings onto our other rhythm DI. So we get a nice quad tracking. Beautiful. Good, 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 good. Let's look at our leads. You know what, for the sake of time, I actually like helix tones, which means that's all of our guitar stuff done. Done the drop guitar DIs. Which means I can backtrack and do my drum sample selection. Kinda want to high pass this now, low pass this rather. Which I realise a great many of you probably can't hear. Let's select a sample to just make things sound a bit more consistent. That sounds awesome. I've got a preset for a heavy kick. That's very interesting. That looks like snare MIDI. Maybe it's taken that first snare hit. Yeah, it has taken that snare hit. Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Get rid of that. If we get rid of the first kick hit here, this is why we do all of this stuff in prep. No, don't quit Logic. That looks... Oh, that looks way more reasonable. So it's gone and not rejected the snare. That's quite funny. Sounds way more agreeable than it was. So what I'll do is I'll select all of those, copy these, pop them in our master drum MIDI. Good, snare selection. Have I made sure this is in phase? Quite the opposite. Oh, I have. All right, cool. That does not sound good. It sounds weak. So I'm going to put my little snare preset in there. I'm also going to make sure that this is in phase with the snare top, which I think is audio 2. It is. That's less than helpful. There we go. Right. Process channels 1 and 2 in sidechain. Cool. Let's zoom in on this guy. See where we end up. So, I mean, it's completely not in phase with anything at the moment, which is marvelous. And in phase is going to make like no difference, so that's fine. Actually, that's quite pleasing with that balance there. I like that. Let's find a rack tom that suits. See if this tom 1 heavy hits. No, it does not. That does. But it doesn't hit quite hard enough. Never mind. We'll make it work. That's about... Yeah, that sounds fine. Good, wonderful. And then... that's the last of our shells that we need to worry about. I do like creating a fake shell room. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I will take a very short break to dial in this bass synth. And then we jump onto the fun stuff of mixing. Hearing some actual music rather than just random drum sounds. And hearing an almost 30-year-old child rant about stupid stuff. That's an unchanged kick heavy preset, so we'll put our heavy room preset in there. Take trigger 2 on our snare. Change that to our heavy room preset. Good, and then our tom heavy room. And go there, adjust the pan of that. Good. I'm going to quadruple check that everything is panned the way I want it to be. That's all fine. cool. Yes, those are panned correctly because I based much of my template and my panning off of how I did this record. Oh, we need to sort out Chinas and rides. Flash with slides to the left. And then we've got a China. Yep, sounds like it's slightly to the right. Robbo can correct me if I'm wrong. Good. So that's left, right, center, center, center. Left, right, center. Why am I doing things the Yank way? It's left, center, right. Jesus. Bad of me. -3 here. And we've got our nice drop guitars ready. That we can focus on later. Everything is stereo out of here, unless I've specified it to be dual mono. Our a cappella stuff. We should probably also think about reverbs and stuff. Spoken Vox. I'm not going to bother with the... I told myself that I would bother with the actual speed mixing process of doing things, but I don't think that's happening. I'm enjoying talking too much.
Of land as a
Angus, you were asking about what the talking bit is at the start. So, this is the raw stuff.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces. Take a deep breath.
I mean, speaks for itself. Super speaks for itself. I'm going to put everything roughly in chronological order so that I can vaguely see what I'm doing. That's all mono, that's fine. BVs, I like doing hard left and right. Left, right. Right. And I think we track those with this intention. Left, right. Left, right. Right. I'll just give you a little solo of the sung BVs.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, we perform the role of...
So there's a bit of stuff that needs to be worked on with how those all sit together. Where has Reeg's sung vocals gone? That's really funny. Right, well, time to find where that's gone. OG. This will probably be the second part. No, those are... No. First pass. Reeks clean vocal 1. Maybe what I've done is I've set this as the main.
Finders, key.
Yeah, I think what I've done is I've put these as a double. That's fine. I'll just pop them up in. Oh no, I won't do that. Do that instead so that they get put in the correct position or with the correct routing. Cool. So this.
Finders, keepers.
Good, excellent. And then we have a vocal effect which I need to recover. I'll just create a new one. It's fine. Finders, keepers.
Finders, keepers, losers, we...
So this was done by adding a pitch shifter. Putting these up an octave. maybe I didn't do it like that. Maybe I did it with flex. Transpose 24. Yeah, sounds absolutely goofy. But then I put it through Raum. Well, maybe I put it through the dual delay as well. Maybe it would 1, 2, 3 8s maybe? I mean, this sounds crazy. This is not the same effect that I had, but it sounds awesome. Right, I think what I have to do is put a low pass in front of that, because otherwise that's just going to be a bit stupid. It's like a little squidgy saxophone. Cool, that's basically what we had. And then we have this bass synth, which I will reamp now. So the only stuff that you guys are not going to see of my mix prep is I'm going to set all of the faders to 0 and then bring everything down except for the kick. That will be where I base the mix off of. So probably I'll see you guys in a bit. And yes, mixing to follow. Don't go away. Stay hydrated in a bit.
Possibly know what forces you tamper with. Even your elders lack knowledge. cannot possibly know what forces you tamper with. Even your elders lack knowledge. cannot possibly know what forces you tangle with. Even your elders lack knowledge.
Hey! Right. I hope everyone had time to get some good water, juice, whatever it is. It's a really nice day up here, and yeah, we had lots of nice sun. I streamed the lawn yesterday, and it's so nice seeing everything looked nice and well kept out there. It's got me really desperate to start a barbecue, but that might be a tomorrow job. Wonderful. Let's look at this mix. Aha. I did not forget to show my door screen this time. So my plan is going to be to set a timer or a stopwatch for an hour and a half. And I'm going to do this roughly under speed mixing conditions, he said at the beginning of the stream, and then prepped for an hour. Technically, I should really be able to mix this in half an hour if I'm using the proper limitation. Well, I'll keep an eye on the time and see what stage I get to in half an hour. It's probably going to be nowhere near finished. But cool. Yep. Enough babbling. Let's get mixing. I will just grab Logic Remote on my iPad, because I've noticed that works really well as a control surface. Is that going to work, or is it just going to cuck me? It might cuck me. Oh dear, wow, it's on the iPad screen, it's jumping all over the place. Just restart that thing real quick. Right. No time like the present, let's get mixing. Oh, that works. Here we go, timer starting. Cool. Bro, is this really going to be where Logic messes with me? I'll get the mixer on as a view for you guys whenever it's feasible for me. We're only dealing with mid-toms. Oh, big subs. Big subs. Need to watch out for those. Let's find something with some hi-hat in. That thing from the China I will address later. I forgot to do that in the actual album. Lost where my splash hit is. Those are oh, that's useful. That's a splash there. No, that's a China. Forgive me, I'm still learning my symbols. Stupid classical violinist. Could have come down. Yep, cool. All right, let's dial in the. I'm not using these rooms. Let's dial in these rooms. That's really nice. There's like a real reinforcing sound in there. All right, let's find some tom hits. Doodle-dum, doodle-dum, doodle-dum. Cool. Let's jump into bass. Back into horrid stuff. Back to clean stuff. Nice. Right, we are going to need to clip gain that. Let's get some vocals on here because I've just kind of jumped ahead of my process.
Leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a
Ad-libs don't necessarily need to be the center of attention. Copy the fade again for those guys. Let's double check. We want to see what this sounds like.
Fire Losers, weepers, we perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
Yes, now we want the... Oh, I found the bass synths, by the way. That was cute. We get to use those. Might as well use those now, actually.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and a spit in all of our faces. Take a deep breath.
And as I'm on this little bit, we may as well put this guy in.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes.
Nice and big. Let's get focused on the actual the actual rhythm guitars now.
Rise to the rise, turn back little body, rise to the skies, and horses of doom. Rise to the rise, to humble all my calcium, gemstone set and present. Humble me and fancy them.
Reapers, we perform the role of reapers. Can we?
8 minutes. Usually I'm done with balancing things by about 10 minutes in, so let's just see where we are in terms of tracks. Cool, so all we really need to do is the backing vocals, which will take care of themselves. And then the effects. Some names mean more than others.
Quality, some names mean more than others.
Actually, one thing that I really like doing is soloing out the a cappella bass and then balancing the rest of the vocals according to that.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. We perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
Oh, we had so much fun recording this.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. We perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
No, calm down.
Find
Bloody iPads.
ever be divine.
I will deal with these. Boop. Boop. No time like the present to deal with this stuff. Oh, we've got some screams under there as well.
Divine.
And of course, I've forgotten to do my left rights, so that's taking me out of creative flow.
Divine.
What do these guys sound like? Oh, I see. They are grouped differently. They are grouped differently to how I want them. He's on.
Divine.
Yep, that's the right one selected.
Divine.
Those are proper screams there, actually. They need to... No, I can't do 4 faders at the same time on the iPad. Eh. Right, let's jump into a bridge.
K Y L L K.
Oh, that's wise, because the bloody bus is down. Ugh. Right, let's jump into this little guy. That's what I'm after. Cool, 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 cool. Let's jump into that bridge.
K Y L L K Y L L. Kill your land, Lord. Kill them. K Y L L
Gonna need some limiting on those transients of the glottal vowels.
K Y L. Or the Persephone.
Oh, the toilet noises. Oh, that's great. And I've not done those in ages. Where else are we missing faders? These 4 guys. Okay, cool. Oh, it's just the big scream. Get a bit more imaging on that. Disgusting. Okay, these guys need to come up a bit more. Let's get these verse guys, these whispers going. Left, left, right, right. How are we looking on our stopwatch? That's 13 minutes. Okay, well, we're nearly all balanced.
Retention in a quality. Some names mean more than others. Lord of land and Lord of lies, while some sleep in the catch. Fight to the right. Take a deep breath.
Good. Usually important, but it's just part of the process at the moment.
Fight through their eyes. Dark big with all body. Right to the skies. In order of fight through their eyes. Dark big with all borders. Right to the skies. In order of fight their eyes. Dark big with all body. Right to the skies. In order of fight through their eyes. Dark big with all borders. Right of eyes while some sleep in the soul of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
Cool. That is us mostly balanced.
Crime and endless blood.
I'll tell you what I like doing as well is making sure that all of these are loosely in chronological order as to when they fire. Should have done this in mix prep. Bad habit. Shoot me. I don't know. That comes before this. That's all fine. Then this. These are just emphatic things, so actually they're not majorly important. And then that. This. Good. Awesome.
Sustainable agriculture and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and spit in all of our faces. Take a deep breath.
Good.
From
And then what I like doing is balancing all of these effects. Like this. Good fun. There's this glide alloy stuff. This was so much fun to produce. Ah, I see why I've put that in. It's because that's just the DI of this. Yeah. Good. Too much. Good. Chuck in some exploding cars, why not? So this is now at a roughly balanced stage. 19 minutes. Okay, that's roughly double the time I wanted to take. That's probably because I was just flapping my lips around. Let's create some very basic bus processing here. Generally, there's a lot of coming from the vocals here. Oh, I hate Bluetooth mice sometimes. There's a real tubbiness to this low end as well, which I'm less of a fan of. But I'm going to have to fix that on a track-by-track basis, otherwise I'll start affecting the sub-drops and stuff like that. Let's look at some bus compression with this thing, which violates the Geneva Convention. That's going to be fine for our purposes right now. So now I'm probably looking at 15 minutes of EQ stuff that I want to do. So let's have a look at one of these choruses. I mean, I'm generally hearing quite a lot of mids, sort of like the ooh, 415 sort of hertz region. But let's do this on a track-by-track basis. Love using the SSL channel strip. And it's especially useful as I'm about to my console. Oh, you just see how much that's cleaned everything up. In fact, what I also want to do is put a gate on there, but I want to do that on the two tracks down here. Bruh. Give me that thing. Sidechain that to kick plus, sidechain on. Ooh, that sounds quite punchy. I like that. Command Z that. We love all the weird noises while mixing. Man, that sounds huge now. Possibly a little too huge. Love this. Loving this a lot. I should really have put the silencers on at the start. Cool. I like that there's a lot of low end in this. It's cool. Nice. I like how this is sounding already. I'm excited to use actual clipping and compression on this snare to make it really smack. Cool. Let's jump onto some toms. I mean, that's largely nice. I'm hearing kind of like a ooh. Cool. Yep, just a bit cleaner. Right, I think dispense with that. That's not serving anyone. Blub. Rumbly, rumbly, rumbly. Mostly that's just for the attack of the thing. Might as well filter this as well. Good. Right, okay. We'll look at dynamics for that later on. Get rid of that horrible, horrible, horrible sound. Less disgusting low stuff muddying up our cymbals. I need to remember to do the trick with the, what's it called? China. Good. So hopefully that has all come together in a nice cohesive sound. This is good, I like where this is heading. That should be about here. That's cool. I like where this is headed already. Let's collapse these drums. I'm just going to see what this does for the clarity of the rest of the mix. Feels like there's something in between here that can go away. See what happens when I take this mid-band out. It's almost like the bass becomes louder because this 400 band is not fighting anything. Anyway, that's fun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this gain staging into this. Better clarity. And just see how those kind of lock in with the bass as well. I might need to make a couple of moves about articulation later, but that is okay. 33 minutes in and we already have a much better state than we did before EQing any of this stuff. I'm just going to jump into our first theme here as well. Good, that's fine. I'll just double check. Good, cool. Let's jump onto this acoustic guitar because it sounds quite spindly-windly. Oh, and I noticed there was a ton of sub in this earlier. Was it here? Yeah, no, that can all go. Ooh. In fact, there's so much low end that can just go. Good. Let's look into the return of this theme. Oh my god, that's so much better. That sounds really trippy, I love it. Yeah, that sounds so cool. Cool, we can bypass all of these. Get rid of this crap here. Maybe I can shelve that to make it sound a bit thinner. Nice and ratty. But still warm. I'm noticing there's something like this. Maybe I'm also hearing something like 300 coming in there. That's a big one. See what that does for the rest of the mix. Oh, that's very fun. Oh, we haven't got to the awesome bit yet. Forgive my incredibly lazy 8-string playing. Maybe I take this out and... Cool. What's happening here? Nothing. Excellent. Let's look at the bass synth. It's quite warm, but there's some stuff that will inevitably fight around here. That's very cool. Happy with that. Now, lots of stuff, as I have learned from Machine in Nail the Mix. Lots of the low end that we perceive out of all of these effects largely can be discarded. Because much of this low end we hear around the 200 Hz region. And I mean, I think that's probably... Yeah, we still have the feeling of... And this is not going to get in the way of our subs. Let's just add... Let's add 90 Hz high-pass filters to all of these guys. Glide alloy impact, dark glass emulation out, no. Dubstep impact, no. Everything else, yes. And just see how that clears things up. Might need to do some corrective EQ to this guy. Yeah, it's a little too flubby, isn't it? Good, done. Now, I saved the acapella for last out of this because most of the big sound from a mix comes from the instrumental, because that's where all the loudest things are. Let's just have a little careful look at these vocals. Oh, bastard Bluetooth mouse. Do hate you sometimes.
Right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless blood.
Right, that needs to be bypassed immediately. I think much of this we can just do in channel strips.
Right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces. Take a deep breath. Right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all.
Nice, tidy.
Right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your tax...
I'm just going to take a quick shortcut and put... I should probably have put a deplosive before this. Just going to save the project in case logic fucks me. Hooray! It's not crashed. the barest of minimum requirements. And I'll just set us up for success. Later on in this project, I will copy this. Paste that to everything. What are these? Those are empty. These... we can set ourselves up for success. These we can also set ourselves up for success, because I think everything was recorded in an Aston Stealth. Aston Stealths are dynamic microphones, so they are very, very plosive heavy. Play! Oh no. Please don't crash.
Right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces.
Right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming...
Good. In fact, what I'll do, because much of this is effectively the same sets of vocals techniques, just layered differently, I'm going to jump in this chorus, process this vocal, and then copy and paste that channel strip setting into, like, everything.
Right through their eyes, tortured personal borders pray till the skies. Down the rest break this divide. Great is the first infection. Earth, be my guide. Right through their eyes, tortured personal borders pray till the skies. Down the rest break this divide. Great is the first infection.
Are your ears bleeding? Because mine are bleeding.
Right through their eyes, tortured personal borders pray till the skies. Down the rest break this divide. Great is the first infection.
I've got some more EQing that I want to do, so I can probably do a little bit of compression inside of this, but, yeah. Oh, let's see. Let's put some color EQ on. 550B! Yep.
Right through their eyes, Torture, birth, little bodies, pray to the skies. The reds,
Very, very, very dark at the moment.
fight through their eyes. Torture, birth, little bodies, pray to the skies. The reds, break this divide. Great is the first infection. Earth, be my guide. Rise alone, my tale. Fight through their eyes. Torture, birth, little bodies.
No, it's too thin now. That's all right. I will go back on that later. But for now, copy this. Paste these. Let's see what happens here.
Finders,
That's quite pleasing now.
keepers, losers, weepers. We perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
Good. Let's let this paste.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers. We perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
So if you jump back to 48 minutes ago, I have mixed much of this. Great. Isn't it a wonderful difference what EQ can do? Let's jump into some dynamics. Let's actually focus on the heaviest part of the song. And we'll find some arbitrary loop. 15 bars. Yeah, that'll be fun. Cool. Let's do our nice clipping that we like to do on kick drums. Good old JST clip. So what I like to do is clip and then compress, because if there's any rogue extra velocity coming from an analog kick mic, then it will be clipped and it won't make the compressor duck and do horrid things. Good, my default kick preset is a little too violent for this. Bastard. Making things a little more consistent. Especially in the low end, which people might not be able to hear. Where this is going to make the absolute most difference is going to be the snare. Hell yeah. Javi, so good to see you, buddy! You have made me very happy by turning up. I don't know how few people are in there, but I did make the mistake of looking on my phone and there were like 3 people here. It's fine. I don't actually care that much. Let's dumb this thing down a bit. Let's be extreme. Let's try 40 milliseconds attack time. That's done exactly what I wanted it to. Snare drum sounded lazy. Although it is completely overacting. And I want it to be preserving some of this nice low end. And there is a little bit of corrective EQ we can do there. Good. Might saturate it further later. Let's see what happens. I like this outro fill, so we'll do this for our tom dynamics. Ooh, can we sidechain this? Ooh, wonderful. I think that's making it go right. I mean, this is very much not... Do you know what? I'm going to not bother with the sidechain. Because if it's trying to follow inputs 3 and 4, that's inevitably going to be my bus compressors on the interface. Good. We opted not to use the mid-tom MIDI. Whoa, that is too sustained. God, my mouse is jumping all over the place. Good. Oh my god! It's making me want to return to USB mice. Right, that needs to have all of the attack and none of the sustain. That sounds absolutely brutal, but we can go a step further. I'm going to save this in case Logic cucks me. We don't want them sounding quite that pillowy. I think that sounds brutal. Good, let's deal with some of these cymbally stuff. This was something that I enjoyed playing with. I'm just going to get my stock overhead preset going. Drums, that's my overhead leveler. And I need to put soothe on that damn China cymbal. So what I'm noticing is the snares kind of affecting the overheads in this, as it will do because it's a snare drum with normal overheads. So what I'm going to do is put in a broadband... a broadband OTT. A broadband multiband compressor that is acting as a limiter. Can't find anything there that aids me in my quest, so I'll just dial the settings manually. People are going to laugh at me, but I'll be laughing at them when they have snare drums in their overheads. And I'm also going to sidechain this to my snare MIDI. So as we can see, this should be affecting our compression slightly less. Significantly less, in fact. Is there a way that I can get this to... Oh, I suppose I can unlink the left and right by putting it into dual mono. Yeah. Right, does anyone remember what my preset was? It was probably 100 milliseconds there. 10, 8. Nice and wide cymbals here. I just want to deal with this china. This horrid whistly shit up here. Nice. Might need to adjust some top end in there later. Oh, this is just my favourite bit of doing any kind of drum effects. And I need to make a preset for this, because I'm tired of dialing this in manually. But at the same time, it just gives me so much joy. Master drum MIDI. Just destroy those rooms. Add a little bit of extra spice. These drums just make me so happy. Onto bass. Let's stay with this because it's brutal and disgusting. We do need to come back to the clean stuff later. Right, that's going to be limited, limitilted, limitiltide. We're at the 1 hour mark here. Sarah is asking if I want tagliatelle. Food is important, guys. Do I want tagliatelle? Yes. I always want tagliatelle. Tagliatelle is good. That sounds good. I want to add a little bit more transient in here, as I always do. Come on, Matt, learn how to use your tools. What are we looking at? We're looking at something like 10, 100 for side chain of... We'll just do the internal side chain. Yeah, what that's doing is that is allowing us a little bit of extra pick attack. And I'm probably going to need to turn some of those subs down. Massively going to need to turn those subs down. Good. Let's look into our rhythm guitars, and then we can do the clean section. These need to be limited again. And so this is jumping on something that Kiko was saying earlier. I love using L1 specifically for rhythm guitars, and this is all I do to them. Same thing again with the bass, as in fact what I can do is I'll just copy that setting. This. Paste it here. Thank you, FabFilter, for having a strange UI. Nice, good bit of edge to that. Let's mute these guys and mute these guys so we don't get distracted. Not the biggest fan of this. Not the biggest fan of this low end. Now, what happens if I put it up here? Best of both worlds. Love it. I'm going to also do a little bit more corrective EQ here. good. Just feels like it's taking up a little bit less of that mid-range room. Same treatment here. And we'll need to do some other stuff to that set of guitars as well. There's a lot of fizz in this, which I'm not enjoying. I'll take out that 2K thing. Wonderful. Let's jump back to bass over here. Aha, hooray. I think I'm going to have to limit that again. And this is purely to make the transient sound less pokey. It's very much like almost a spread piano chord. Rum 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 is how I was picturing it. I'm now deliberating putting these into a reverb. I think that would be really fun. Let's put them into the Catholic Cathedral. Why not? Plus 22. Refader. Max. Fix that. Bro, why are you letting me scroll so far? Right, let's put this in our... May as well put this in the... Let's just put it in as a synth. Why? To hell with it. It's got its own keys bus. Convolution, easy, is what we're looking for. That's just to get me to my custom path. Oh, what does it sound like going through the oil tanker in Inverness? Oh, that's insane. I think that's going to add a lot of cool space in there if we take this down and if we do this. Cool, lovely. Let's look at these guys. It's very needly. So, same thing again with the limiter. Just to soften those transients. Okay, what we're going to need to do with that... what does it sound like without the limiter? That can all come down about 6 dB. Now, how aggressive is that limiting? It's still quite aggressive. Probably because there's so much low end in there. Right, let's see what this does to the intro guitars. It does absolutely nothing to them. So what I think I'm going to do... Got an eyelash in my eye. See if that does something. I think that can sort of act almost like a synth. So the only thing I want to do to this is actually... no. Where are we? That needs to come... Bus 22 is what we're looking for. So I'll pop this on bus 22, 24, 23, 22. What the... Yeah, it's here, isn't it? No, that's bus 6. Bus 22. There we go. Okay. See, I mean, that's the great thing about New Logic having plugin searches and I/O searches. That's wonderful. I think I'm going to do the same thing, just restricting these transients a bit more. Oh, and that horrid. Kiko, welcome back. We got creative. I like that we don't have the chorus effect on there at the moment. That's really cool to me. We're not just going into the old ways. Was there anything that I've not done yet? This. Shut up! There's this awful, awful thing that happens up here. What a difference it makes having a sub and being able to hear what you're supposed to do. We're on 1 hour 17, so I'm going to get most of the way there before my time goes up in terms of the old speed mixing timer, but I'm going to do this until it's finished. I'm going to give this the old limit tilt treatment because it's fast and I'm lazy. In fact, what I'm probably going to do is put this first thing in the chain. Just because it's making me feel a little bit seasick at the moment. I really like the top end response of those sticks on the cymbals. Robbo did an incredible job with those. But the mix is not simply built on the instrumental.
Right through their eyes, tortured little bodies pray to the skies. Garner the reds break this divide. Great is the first infection. Earth be my guide. Rise alone, my tail. Right through their eyes, tortured. This is our insurrection, realization of the content power. Say your name.
Right, that's definitely cleaner there. And I'm once again going to copy paste things. Copy paste that, but I'm going to get this absolutely as good as I possibly can. Yeah, with as many tools as is necessary. Vocals, de-esser. It needs a de-esser.
Right through their eyes, tortured little bodies.
Bit too much there.
Right. Garner the reds break this divide. Great is the first infection. Earth be my guide. Rise alone, my tail. Right through their eyes, tortured little bodies.
No analyzer for now, no cheating. I've been going through the URM EQ trainer for, ooh man, last 6 weeks or so, something like that. It's been very fun. Very, 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 very useful.
Right through their eyes, tortured little bodies pray to the skies. Garner the reds break this divide. Great is the first infection. Earth be my guide. rise alone, my tail. Fight through their eyes, torture both little portals, to the skies, gather the rest, break.
I'm doing that stupid thing where I'm notching things now.
Fight! Torture both little portals, pray to the skies, gather the rest, break. It is the first infection, Earth, be my guide. Rise alone, my tail. Fight through their eyes, torture both little bodies, pray to the skies, gather the rest, break this divide, great. This record, the burst of
Good start. Not 1,000,000% happy with the reverb here. That probably just needs to be a little bit thinner. That's probably going to be about that much. I'm being very lazy.
Fight through their eyes, torture both little bodies, pray to the skies, gather the rest.
Yeah, I'm going to do the old AB.
Fight through their eyes, torture both little bodies, pray to the skies, gather the rest, break this divide.
I think what I might also do is chuck on Soothe on this, because this will be a bus move.
Little bodies pray to the skies, gather the rest, break.
Much smoother. Great. So now I can... Let's just look at this spoken stuff.
Sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all.
It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces. Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes
And bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces. Our perception of land as a
That needs to be de-essed as well. What are we on? 1 hour... 1 hour 24. Lol. Lol.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent.
Audio Things wires. No, I have not. I have not. What does it do? Sarah says, foodie food is ready. I shall microwave it later, but thank you, Bob. Right, copy this. And basically paste it to all of these. So maybe that is going to be a bus thing that I deal with later.
Sustainable agriculture.
Oh no, it's just really underbalanced.
Sustainable agriculture and housing for all.
Let's determine this with the chorus, the main balance of stuff. Cool, so there's something that's preventing the vocals from coming through. Cool, there was some 855 hertz that was fighting with the main vocals. Cool, so copy this, paste that to the ad-libs and all the other vocals, paste that to all of the screams and all of the cleans. Alright, let's see how much of a difference this has made. Ah, Whisper Vox. Two of which have not even been balanced. Ah. Oh, this is good. This is starting to slap.
Lord of land and Lord of ice, while rise, dark banquet of bodies, fly to the skies in orders of death.
Right, I'm just going to do a very quick look at where all of these things need to come up to.
Fight through their eyes, torture, banquet of bodies, pray to the skies, gather the rest, weepers, weeper for.
That's incredibly warm. I don't like that.
Weepers, we perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
No, that's definitely showing the right thing. Cool. Sometimes Logic has weird graphical issues, so I'll do the same move here.
Weepers, we perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
Are our screams too much? Yes, they are.
Weepers, weepers. Can we ever be divine? Can we ever be divine?
Love Reegs' little chorus there. Angus says, opening vocals on the track. I'm sure that's Regan's voice. Isn't that a line from Trainspotting? It's a question for Reegs. It's a question for the band. I do not know. They came to me with the song. I did not write it. I did small creative bits like I have done today. Let's just jump back on these whispers and see what's going on.
Some names mean more than others. Take a deep breath.
I think we are largely there now. Let's go and do some bus compression, because that's fun. I'm going to gain stage this according to how my gear works best with it. Gonna get loud. Right, I would like to experiment with doing the same thing that I discovered by total accident in the Scramble live stream, which was to chain the TL. Bro, what's going into 3 and 4? Nothing's going into 3 and 4. My friend. Do I have to do the dodgy? No, I don't have to do the dodgy. Oh, maybe it's a Dante dodgy. Logic 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. What? 3. Yes. Yes. Should be correct. God, the stuff I do to set up live streams for people, eh? 16, yeah. Focus right 89 20s. Receiving logic. Got 3. Put it into 3. Is it going to work? Or is it going to cuck me? It's not going to do anything. Come on. Right, Dante friends, why isn't this working? I will take a break and sort this for you guys. Right, I'm going to take it in good faith that you guys don't hear early or delayed version of the audio if I use macOS screen capture. So let me jump back into this. macOS screen capture, so what's that? Minus 16.1 dB, minus 16. dB. Right.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger,
Right, I'm going to test to see if you guys can hear stuff at a delayed level. Shouldn't be able to. Gonna check this with some snares. No, looks like you're alright. Great. Bus compression. Have our trusty TL. Our TL preset. Because the left channel is slightly hotter than the right on this guy. And we will chuck that immediately into the Alesis 3630. Right, cool. There's a considerable volume difference here. I am liking this, and we'll do the same thing for the acapella. Chuck that into the ART. Okay, I think all of the backing vocals can come up.
This divide. We perform the role of reapers. Can we ever be divine?
Cool. I'm clipping the converters on the way back in, but clipping is good. Shut up. Cool. Yeah, this is getting very close to what I want. I would, however, like to make some space for the instrumental, because this is very, very dense.
This divide. Be my guide.
So what I've done here is taken away 250 Hz out of the mid only of the vocal bus.
This divide.
And I'll set a high pass filter just in case on the stereo. Let's just A/B what that does. Am I going to release this mix as a single, or is this just for a bit of fun? Both, possibly. I don't know. This is fun for me. The agreement with Scramble was that they could re-release their stuff, and the agreement with Dread Persephone is if they want to re-release this as a single, they're welcome to. So whatever the band wants, to be honest. Mastering. Let's jump back to this heavy breakdown stuff. We'll just gain stage this nicely. It's actually largely been gain staged quite nicely already. Let's just check to see if Mongoose does the nice thing or not. It does, but I want to take out some of the subs. No, I want to take them out, not add them. And then there are some things that I want to take out of this that will help me EQ for wideness. Cool. Let's do some mid-side EQ. I do quite like all of my sides to be quite ambient. And Angus, yes, you are correct. You are right saying all the stems I've been using are from the original track last year, apart from the dropped guitars, the stuff that's going crazy low. Apart from these guys. They're playing exactly the same part as was in the song last year, but I couldn't find the source for those, so I just made another one. Back to mastering. I'm just going to solo the low end because something's not playing quite right there. Aha! It is the low end on our drop guitars. That sounds nice. Oh, right, cool. Let's get rid of that. Coming through there. I think I think Dante Villa is trying to send something into itself. This, get rid of that. Get rid of all this. Life is always a learning curve, people. Oh, well, the solution here is simply to stop Dante Vere, isn't it? No, that's happening inside of Logic. Ooh, this is cool. Ooh, I found an audio problem. What's happening here? Come on, Logic. Don't cuck me. Yep, solved. I think we're solved anyway. So I can unmute all of this. And I can also give you your feedback. Minus 16.1. And yet that's still happening. That's really interesting. Oh, it's because input monitoring is still turned on from when I try. Oh, that's really lazy of me. That's funny. I'm going to pump this volume up for you guys a bit. Probably a bit easy for you to hear now. Cool. Cool. I'm going to do a quick A/B to see whether or not sounded like a smoke alarm. Yeah. This Logic does some crazy things sometimes. Let's just do an A/B of this mid-side EQ. Just feels a bit easier on the ears. I like this is a new thing that I learned the other day. Soloing different bands of EQs to figure out what EQ bands in different elements of the song need adjusting. This is cool. This is really, really cool. Let me jump to a chorus for you guys. So if we just solo the low end. We can quite clearly hear all of the elements of the song. Maybe dominated a little bit by the kick and the snare, but that's a good thing. So we can hear much of the song in the kind of the low mid frequencies. I'm hearing all of the nice details in the instrumental. There was a little bit of a resonance kind of going, which I wasn't happy with. Lots of clarity there. Mid frequencies. Now, interestingly, the guitars feel a bit overwhelming in this area of the frequency spectrum. So let's just see if we can sweep around and find something that we can get rid of. Even 1.5 dB, that's a tiny, tiny, tiny level of detail. That's made a lot of difference in this frequency band. High mids. So I'm hearing a lot of wash from the cymbals in this. soon as I turn that band on, the focus is immediately shifted away from the cymbals and into the guitars and the vocals. So when I mute the cymbals, I can tell that what I want is a little bit more top end in the guitars. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit, plus 1.4 dB. And quite a lot of high end taken out of the cymbals, minus 3.6 dB. Let's see what that all sounds like now. I'm enjoying how it sounds. It sounds much, much, much more cohesive than it did, and it sounds like many of my problems have been solved. Let's jump on to multiband compression. Right, I'm going to try a new thing with this, is soloing out the 3 mid bands. And then basing the rest of my decisions with the low end and top end off of that. Less hissy, sounds nice and thick. I approve. Let's do our mid-side compression. Starting off with the sides again. Just making sure that the mastering of the sides is reacting to anything kind of north of 400 Hz, just so that it's not affected by those palm mutes. Good, and then mid compression here. Good, and let's just test this in a breakdown. Good, I don't think it's working too hard. Same old test of closing my eyes and mashing this button to see if I can tell the difference as to when it's on and off and which of those I prefer. Easy test. I prefer it on. That's fantastic. The whole thing kind of gels together and punches at the same time. So really, the only thing left to do with this sort of static version of the mix, which I've kind of overrun by a half hour on, but whatever, I've been flapping my lips, is clipping and limiting. I like to use a hard clipper. I don't give a shit about loudness anymore. Somebody else who's more qualified at me can do that. I don't even want to master my own mixes anymore. So Seth, please help me. Cool. I like monitoring with the delta thing about how much of the signal is being clipped. And then I like the limiter to be responsible for loudness. Turn channel linking off for the release, it makes it all wider. Yeah, punchy is too much punch. I'm monitoring this at 1:1 ratio just so I can hear what the effect is in my room, and we'll get it nice and loud later on. So I think what I'd like to do is introduce a little bit of colour into this. If Logic doesn't die. See, I think Logic used to keep crashing because I was using too many plugins in my template. That was a bad decision. Filter this at about 30 Hz. I'm hearing a little whistle that I don't like. See what this is. This is where I'm aiming for. And that's given us so much more headroom. Oh, that is disgusting. Disgusting. I'm going to put this nice and loud. So cool. 4.9 LUFS at one stage. That's very competitively loud. Let's do a little AB of the original song versus what I have done to it.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy.
Yeah, that octave sub can come in a bit more.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces. Take a deep breath.
Oh, bro, that's where that's where the pitch shifter went. That's cool. I can. Okay, that's fine. I will turn this on, and we can get the original. Yeah, we can get get the original vocal synth going. That's coming out of bus 23. We're gonna put this as something that is super obvious. Bus 255. Finders, weepers. This is the send. That's got bus 255. Beta. We don't have Reek's chipmunk voice. Get rid of that. Oh, and then I need to automate this. So, what am I doing? Main send one synth. Yeah, just do that. That'll work. Please work. Please don't crash. Right, okay. What I will instead do here, undo all of that, take that off of the send, no send for you, and I will instead send this guy, who is already pitched up 2 octaves, but I'll put it up 1 octave. Oh, it's way better. There we go. There's the original thing. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, weepers. Right, gonna keep this nice and simple. That goes down there. We're going to limit this, because it's jumping out at me. Wrong limiter. Tilt. Dum. Right, hopefully that will do something. Nah, I kind of prefer what I did earlier. Even though it sounds a bit like a chipmunk. And we'll just put it up 2 octaves. Yeah, this is probably a good place to, because now I'm just gonna start tweaking things ad infinitum and ruining it.
Instead of a right of the people, leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of...
I think better balance in the intro, it's much more ambient. Yeah, go on, let's turn some of the subs up.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty.
Nice. It's like all of my mid-ranges come back. The snare drum as well, that is, wow. It cracks so much more. Oh my god, the cymbals. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me how much of a difference a year's worth of experience makes. That is crazy. It's like a completely different song now. What I'm going to do is export this and leave you guys to listen to it because that was fun. That was very, very fun. Band can decide whether or not they want to release this version. Can't see why not, but this has been incredibly fun. I'm just going to prep this. We need to turn our gain thing on. Want to figure out. Oh, there's one fade that I need to do. Come on, press play. Oh, I totally forgot that we left that in. That's really funny. Right, that down like that. There's one fade which is before the... Just jump back here real quick. And we'll pop one of these in. So that we have a nice fade. Take that out, don't erase that. And so we have a loop for our song. Just want to see how this sub thing comes in. Yeah, that's fine. It's nice and subtle. Yeah, we really want that to be gone by losers, weepers. 197 is where we need our rhythm guitars to have faded. So we'll do this. They need to be out for all of this. They can come back later. And I will create a little here. Finders, keepers, losers, weepers, reaper for the role of reapers. Can we ever be I want to play with one little thing. It's the tiniest possible detail. Let's just see what having a 2 dB bump on that first transient of the breakdown does. Too much. That tickles my pickle nicely. Good. Fun. I enjoyed that. I over-engineered the setup massively, but it was very fun. Great hanging out with people who hung out with me. This will be fun to create content for social media. And I'm really happy with how this mix has come out. Especially that whole thing with the soloing bands, that was shown to me like on Sunday by Ben Turk. And God, that's changed everything for me. That really, that is that's an insane win. So awesome. I will leave you guys with some cool visuals and export some stuff for you. We'll go set up your visuals. I will go set those up now. Hooray! Have some nice flashy lights. Shout out to Ben. Ben is Ben is the tits. Ben is amazing. He is yeah. I have not a single bad thing to say about Ben. I don't think anyone can. Marvelous. Now, macOS screen capture. Aha! Yes, we can get sound and we can layer video so that you can see the things. There we go. Good. Right. Be good. Don't die. Much love. I'll go on, I'll talk to you while I put my export settings out. What's this? This is 4824. I'll show you my export settings as well. Do the 24-bit, DC filtering, go, bounce, WAV, 2448, none, interleaved, mode automatic, 2020, 505. 2119. I do kind of lose track of the time because I'm in Scotland and it stays light until like 11 at the summer equinox. So it's still like daytime outside, but I should stop. Good fun. Night night.
Our perception of land as a commodity to be bought, owned, and sold instead of a right of the people leads to a cycle of poverty, hunger, petty crime, and endless bloodshed. Your taxpayer money is being spent on arming foreign regimes and bombing children instead of funding education, sustainable agriculture, and housing for all. It's a mockery of our democracy and a spit in all of our faces.